You're watching TVC News. Algeria police clashed with protesters in Algiers after riots broke out at the end of a march against the French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo's publication of Prophet Muhammad cartoons. Several officers were injured during the clashes, with police firing riot pellets and small groups of protesters responding with rocks, fireworks and bottles in the streets around the waterfront area of the capital. Hundreds of people, including women and children, had earlier marched peacefully through the capital, chanting, "God is great," singing and waving placards in French and Arabic to protest against Charlie Hebdo's cartoons. And the provocative survivor issue of the French weekly satirical Charlie Hebdo is generating mixed reactions. TVC News' Joy Otinika in this report tells us how the latest publication has been received in other countries.
The Charlie Hebdo magazine is known for cartoons that mock Islam and other religions. The new edition, which has been called the Survivor issue, hit newsstands in select Canadian locations, with lines of people eager to collect the controversial satirical magazine. Only 1,500 copies will be made available in Canada, an increase from the 100 issues normally available. It is expected to sell out, as Canadians are eager to read the magazine at the center of international attention. In Germany, the paper's first edition, already in great demand, went on sale early on Saturday.
We had enormous demands over the last few days. We had to keep lists, but unfortunately only one copy was delivered this morning, which of course is way too little. Many more were promised.
The latest issue, which features a crying Prophet Muhammad on the cover, is however so welcome in Muslim states and has generated anger in Muslim conservatives. Amongst other criticisms dished out, Saudi Arabia's top clerical body has condemned the cartoons, and Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan says the decision to print millions of copies of the magazine has nothing to do with freedom of expression and is instead terrorizing the freedom of others.
The barbaric attack in Paris, where a number of editors of Charlie Hebdo newspaper were killed, was denounced by all in the Islamic world. But at the same time, we see that the next day, the newspaper republished the cartoons. This is an insult, this is ignorance, and this is recklessness. People have rallied behind their freedom of expression, but their freedom of expression should not harm others' beliefs.
Fransa'da bir mizah dergisine yapılan saldırının arkasına sığınılarak tüm Müslümanlara ve bizatihi İslam'ın kendisine, sevgili peygamberimize yöneltilen nefret dalgasını endişeyle takip ediyoruz. Bizim aksi yöndeki tüm gayretlerimize
Charlie Hebdo came under attack by Islamist militants who killed 17 people, including journalists and police, in 3 days of violence in Paris. Joy Otinika, TVC News.
Chinese peacekeepers have completed their security task for Liberian senatorial election after the election results came out on Wednesday. Chinese peacekeepers started their work from late November of 2014. They coordinated with Liberian police to safeguard local safety during the election. As part of the Liberian senatorial election security work project, China's peacekeepers patrolled 8 hours a day at 64 polling stations. A total of 900 peacekeepers had used 900 firearms with 32,000 bullets in their 20,000 kilometers patrol.
During the election, we patrolled the 6 districts. We intensified our patrols. We kept patrolling from 8 in the morning to 9 at night to help local police to keep local social stability.
Also has been grappling with the challenge of climate change, which has had adverse effect on its agricultural yields, leading to an exodus of people to the urban centers. But there could be a future for the land of the Zai system of farming if Zai's system of farming is encouraged. TVC News, M1 Okoli reports.
Just like making a desert a fruitful field, Burkinabe farmers, in order to eradicate poverty, rehabilitated a once stony semi-wasteland, making it a viable crop field through low-cost technique. Popularly called Zai or stone contour, this method of farming consists of building little stone barriers to trap runoff water and ensure it leaks into the ground, preventing erosion. Holes for planting are then dug next to the stones filled with fertilizer, which together with improved hydration aid crops to germinate in no time. Seido Pogo, a farmer, believes farm yields have greatly improved.
I have a family of 11 people. At the moment, my store is full of grain I haven't touched. I also have plenty of beans, and all this is thanks to the technique of stone barriers that were introduced.
With an impressive result of rehabilitating over 200 acres of land, roughly the size of Luxembourg, Burkina Faso has shown it is possible to successfully control climate change through zai farming, but not so many have embraced it due to several inadequacies.
There are still many families who have not had the chance to change. They know and they want to adopt these practices, but they need the means. It does not take a lot, but the resources need to be directed to those who need them to implement these practices.
Many of the farmers hope that things will gradually change and that zai farming will one day be one of the country's success stories. M1 Okole, TVC News.
The use of customized coffins at funerals in Ghana is fast catching up with both urban and rural dwellers as more and more people jump to fancy funerals for their departed. Our Ghanaian correspondent Eunice Jairi Ochere spent some time at the coffin shop in Accra.
It's a time of sorrow, and friends and family of the deceased gather to pay their last respect.
In the Ghanaian tradition, funerals are not only a time of sorrow, because it is believed that the dead people still live but in another world, hence the celebration at funerals. The coffins are usually beautifully decorated, and customized ones have become the new fashion. Hello. Oh, it's almost ready.
Samuel designs coffins to the specification of his clients: a sewing machine to bury a seamstress in, an organ for an organist, a camera for a cameraman, a fish for a fisherman, or a taxi for a taxi driver. Samuel Afuti learned to make coffins from his father 20 years ago.
I made my mind not to shape coffins, but to be an artist, but not coffins. Through my father forced me to be a coffin shaper. That's why I'm here today shaping coffins.
This casket, made to bury a hunter in, cost about $600. Not many people can afford this, but Samuel says patronage of customized coffins is growing by the day. The high demand puts pressure on his company. The shop receives about 10 visitors daily, and out of this number, about 6 will place an order. Customized coffins were once reserved for royals and traditional leaders, but now whoever can afford them can use them.
As for me, I'm a teacher, so I like to be buried with a customized pen coffin.
As you can see, I'm selling carpet here, so I can talk to them to do something about designing of carpets or something to show that this is the job I do.
Samuel is content with his business. So what would the coffin maker's prayer be?
That is not our thoughts or our plans for people to die to shape coffins for them. But almost, at all miss, you will die.
Samuel tells me these coffins are so comfortable, but after a few minutes in here, I think it needs an AC. It's going 6 feet down the ground anyway, so why bother with all this? But being buried with some swag is not a bad idea. Eunice Ejare Oche, TVC News, Accra.
Now look at other stories from around the world. People in Japan gathered at parks, schools and halls on Saturday to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the Kobe earthquake, which destroyed the port city in 1995. While the physical scars are mostly gone from the city 20 years after, residents say they still remember the 7.3 magnitude earthquake that killed over 6,400 people. Until 2011, the Kobe earthquake had been the most deadly to hit Japan for more than 70 years. Family and friends of the couple killed in the AirAsia plane crash have held a memorial service in their honor in Indonesia. The couple, who had planned to get married this year, had been traveling to Singapore for holiday. Their bodies will be buried in their hometown in Malang. Minutes after the Pope's plane left from Manila on Saturday, a jet carrying 11 people, including Philippine cabinet members, overshot the runway at Tacloban because of a storm. A late official who was on board said he had heard a tire explode before the aircraft skidded along the way. No casualty was recorded, but authorities have closed the airport till further notice. And now in sports. Phoebe Bafoma scored late on for Congo to deny host Equatorial Guinea victory in the opening match of the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations at a packed Bata Stadium on Saturday. Middlesbrough's Emilio Nsub poked the hosts in front after just 16 minutes to score his first goal for country or club this season. Francis Nganga hit a post as Congo came on strong in the closing stages before former West Brom forward Bafoma equalized from the inside the area. Congo are now without a win in 13 AFCON matches, same as Kenya, a run that stretches back to 1974. Only one team in the history of the competition has gone longer without a win, and that's Burkina Faso with 18. And Chelsea hammered Swansea City 5-0 away to extend their lead over Manchester City at the top of the Premier League to 5 points on Saturday. The visitors led just after 50 seconds, thanks to Oscar's 18-yard strike before Diego Costa scored twice in 15 half minutes. Oscar completed his brace moments later before Andre Scholes finished the rout in the second half. Swansea, who stayed in 9th place, are now winless in 4 league games, and Chelsea have now kept 2 clean sheets, with Tony Peter Cech in goal. In other games, Alan Pardew recorded his second straight Premier League win as Crystal Palace manager after his side came from 2 goals down to beat Burnley away. Liverpool also won 2-0 away at Aston Villa. Stoke recorded another win away, beating Leicester 1-0. Tottenham beat Sunderland 2-1. Manchester United beat QPR 2-0 away at Loftus Road as Southampton completed a good day in office for the away side in a 2-1 win over Newcastle to make it 6 away wins out of 7 matches on Saturday. You can read more about all these stories from Africa and beyond on our website at tvcnews.tv and watch us on YouTube. I am Juliet Obata. Thanks for watching.